My name is Sarah. I am an English teacher at a small school. I love my job very much. Every morning, I wake up early and get ready for school. I like to teach young students. They are curious and full of dreams. My classroom is simple. There are wooden desks, a blackboard, and small windows. I always try to make my class warm and friendly. One Monday morning, the principal came to my class with a new student. He said, "This is Adam. He is new here." Adam stood near the door. He was thin and quiet. He held his books close to his chest. His eyes were shy, but kind. I smiled at him and said, "Welcome, Adam. You can sit there." He nodded and went to the last bench. From the first day, I noticed Adam was different. He did not talk much. He did not laugh loudly like other boys. He listened carefully to every word. When I wrote something on the board, his eyes followed my chalk. He opened his notebook slowly and wrote neatly. When the bell rang, he packed his bag quietly and left. In the next few days, Adam came early to class. He always said, "Good morning, miss," in a soft voice. Other students were noisy. They talked and played. Adam sat quietly and read his book. When I asked questions, many students shouted answers. Adam raised his hand slowly. His answers were simple, but correct. I felt happy to see his effort. One afternoon, after the class ended, Adam stayed at his seat. All other students ran outside. I cleaned the board and looked at him. He stood up and came to my desk. He said, "Miss, I do not understand this sentence." He showed me his book. I explained the sentence in easy words. He listened carefully and nodded. "Thank you, miss," he said. His smile was small, but warm. I felt proud of him. From that day, he often asked questions after class. He never wasted time. He really wanted to learn. Days passed. Adam's English became better. He started reading stories. He tried to speak more. Sometimes he made mistakes, but he never gave up. I encouraged him. I said, "You can do it, Adam." He smiled when I said that. One day, I noticed something else. Adam looked sad. He sat quietly and did not open his book. His eyes were tired. During break time, he did not go outside. He stayed in class. My heart felt worried. After class, I asked him, "Adam, are you okay?" He looked down at the floor. He was silent for a moment. Then he said, "My father is very sick. My mother works all day. I help at home." His voice was low. I felt pain in my heart. He was so young, but he had many problems. I said gently, "You are very strong. Do not lose hope." He looked at me and nodded. That day, I could not stop thinking about him. I wanted to help him more. I gave him extra time for homework. I explained lessons again when he did not understand. I praised him in front of the class. Adam worked even harder. His marks improved. Other students started to respect him. He smiled more now. When he smiled, I felt happy inside. When he learned a new word, I felt proud. Slowly, he trusted me. He shared his worries. He told me about his home, his dreams, and his fears. One evening, while checking notebooks, I noticed my heart beating fast. I thought about Adam's smile. I thought about his words. I felt something strange. I felt worried. I said to myself, "He is my student. I am his teacher." I tried to ignore my feelings. But my heart did not listen. When he was absent, I felt uneasy. When he answered correctly, I felt joy. I did not understand my own feelings. I felt confused and scared. I stood near the window and looked at the empty classroom. I took a deep breath. I knew my duty was important. I had to be careful. I had to be strong. Still, deep inside my heart, something had changed. Weeks passed after that strange feeling entered my heart. I tried to live my life as usual. Every morning, I went to school, smiled at my students, and taught my lessons. But inside, I was not the same. I was more careful with my words. I watched my actions. I reminded myself again and again that Adam was my student. Adam was changing too. He was more confident now. He sat straight in his seat. He opened his books without fear. When I asked questions, he answered with a clear voice. Other students started to look at him with respect. Some even asked him for help. Adam helped them kindly. He never showed pride. One day, I asked the class to read a short story. Adam read aloud. His pronunciation was good. His voice was calm. When he finished, the class clapped. I smiled and said, "Well done." Adam looked at me, and his eyes were full of happiness. My heart felt warm, but I quickly looked away. That day, after class, Adam came to me and said, "Miss, because of you, I like English now. Before, I was scared." His words were simple, but they touched my heart deeply. I wanted to say many things, but I stayed quiet. I only said, "I am happy you are learning." That night, I could not sleep. I thought about his words. I thought about my responsibility. I knew I had to change something. I decided to create distance. I told myself it was the right thing to do. The next day, I behaved differently. I did not give Adam extra attention. I did not call his name again and again. I treated him like all other students. When he asked questions, I answered, but only in class. I did not stay alone with him after school. Adam noticed the change. His smile became smaller. He stopped coming early. He still studied hard, but something was missing. One afternoon, he stayed behind after class again. He stood near my desk and looked nervous. "Miss," he said softly, "did I do something wrong?" My heart felt heavy. I wanted to tell him the truth, but I could not. I looked at him and said, "No, Adam. You did nothing wrong. You were a good student." He looked confused. He said, "Then why are you different?" I took a deep breath. I said, "Sometimes teachers need to be strict. It helps students grow." My voice was calm, but my heart was shaking. Adam nodded slowly. He did not ask more questions. He picked up his bag and left. When he left the room, I sat down and closed my eyes. Tears came, but I did not let them fall. I reminded myself again, love is not always about saying words. Sometimes love is about silence and control. Days passed again. Adam focused on his studies. Exams were near. He worked very hard. I saw him reading during breaks. I saw him writing again and again. I felt proud, but I kept my distance. When the exam results came, Adam was one of the top students. The principal praised him. His classmates clapped for him. I smiled from my seat. I did not say anything special, but my heart was full. On the last day of the term, students came to say goodbye. Adam came last. He stood in front of me and said, "Miss, thank you for everything. You believed in me when I did not believe in myself." I looked at him and smiled gently. I said, "Always believe in yourself. You have a bright future." That was all I said. He nodded. His eyes were a little wet. Then he turned and walked out of the classroom. I watched him go. I felt sadness, but also peace. I understood something that day. Real love does not ask for anything. Real love protects, guides, and lets go. I was his teacher, and I did my duty. When the classroom became empty, I stood alone for a moment. Sunlight came through the window. I felt calm. My heart was quiet. I loved him, but I chose the right path. Time moved forward, quietly and slowly. A new term began. New students came into my classroom. New names, new faces, new voices. I returned to my daily routine. I taught lessons, checked homework, and smiled when students learned something new. From the outside, everything looked normal. But inside my heart, Adam's memory stayed alive. Sometimes, when I wrote on the board, I remembered how Adam used to watch every word carefully. When a student raised a hand slowly, I remembered his shy way. These memories did not hurt anymore. They felt soft, like an old song. I often asked myself if I did the right thing. Each time, my heart answered quietly, yes. I knew that some feelings come to teach us discipline, not desire. They come to remind us of responsibility, not weakness. Years passed. Adam was no longer my student. He moved to a higher school. I heard his name sometimes from other teachers. They said he was doing very well. He was focused and hardworking. When I heard that, I felt proud, like a silent smile inside my heart. One afternoon, after many years, our school arranged a small event. Old students were invited. The hall was full of people. I stood near the back, watching quietly. Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice. "Good evening, miss." I turned around. Adam was standing there. He was taller now. His face looked mature. His eyes were confident, but still kind. For a moment, I was surprised. Then I smiled. "Good evening, Adam," I said calmly. He smiled back. "You look the same, miss." I laughed softly. "Time is kind to teachers," I said. We talked for a few minutes. He told me about his studies. He was doing well. He wanted to become a teacher one day. When he said that, my heart felt warm. "You inspired me," he said simply. I nodded. "I am happy for you." There was no tension, no confusion, only respect, only peace. After the event, Adam said goodbye politely and left. I watched him walk away. This time, there was no pain, only gratitude. I realized how time had healed everything. That night, I thought about how feelings can change shape. What once felt heavy now felt light. What once confused me now made sense. Some love is not meant to grow close. Some love is meant to grow strong from a distance. The next day, I returned to my classroom. I looked at my students. I saw hope in their eyes. I understood my role clearly. I was there to guide, to protect, to support. One of my students asked a question after class. I explained patiently. She smiled and said, "Thank you, miss." Her words were simple, but meaningful. In that moment, I felt complete. I learned that being a teacher is not only about books. It is about shaping lives without asking anything in return. It is about giving without crossing lines. It is about loving in the purest way. Sometimes, when the classroom was empty, I sat quietly and reflected. I was thankful for the lesson Adam unknowingly taught me. He showed me that the strongest emotions are the ones we control. Life continued. New students came and left. Years passed again. My hair slowly turned gray. My voice became softer, but my values stayed firm. One day, I received a letter. It was from Adam. He wrote about his life, his success, and his respect for me. At the end, he wrote one line that stayed with me. "You taught me more by your silence than by your words." I folded the letter carefully. Tears filled my eyes, but this time they were peaceful tears. I smiled and whispered, "That was the lesson." I looked out of the window. The sun was setting. The classroom was quiet. My heart was at rest. I did not regret anything. I chose the right path. I protected my duty, my student, and myself. And that was enough.